competing against communities sometimes in other states. The people that assess those grants and those grant applications look for things like this. And they'll say, oh, the city is proactive. The city has studied this. The city understands what's going on. And Highland School understands what's going on. And it gives you extra points for your grant application. So what we're hoping is in the near future that we can do some things to write some grants for the city, for the school district, that can help bring in some of that other money to address some of these issues that we're finding. And hopefully do some things that encourage kids to walk or bike to school, you alleviate some of that traffic, and some things that will help make the traffic flow better around the school. And with that, Mr. Mayor, that's all I need to say, unless you have any specific questions. And unless Mr. Trosa do not say anything.
Maybe just real quick, the MnDOT grant paid for the study, which Tim did an awesome job. So when it comes to grants come available, we have a really good comprehensive study that's been done that's going to help us get these grants. We did get a MnDOT boost grant for crossing guards at Barrett and Central and 3rd Avenue and Barrett, which I think was probably the biggest barrier why lots of parents will let their kids walk to school or bike to school is crossing those streets. And some of the traffic is parents coming to and going from the school, so some of those high numbers are also cars get counted twice in there. And the new addition east of Highland School, we have kids that currently have to walk through the trees because there's no sidewalk going that direction, which we know that's not the city's responsibility, that's the township. But I just think there's a real good opportunity to try to get better sidewalks, even coming from over in that trailer court area, coming down through. We're trying to really design it to get kids to get kind of to the playground as much as possible and to the school. There isn't even a sidewalk across the front of Highland School's property. And if you look in your packet, the sidewalk comes and stops at one point, and the kids have to walk in the road where the buses pull up. There isn't even a sidewalk available for the kids there. So we have plenty on our property that would be nice to do, but I think ultimately, I know that the school is going to be putting in a new handicapped accessible all-inclusive playground. But they're about $400,000, so that's another piece to where I think might get a lot of traffic coming to the school in the summertime. That playground behind Highland School is used 24/7. I go there at 9 o'clock at night any day of the week, and there's still people back in that playground area. So, and with the younger kids coming from Washington, it's a perfect opportunity to increase our ability to get kids to school safely and try to encourage biking, walking. And we did a bike to school here last week, and there was already kids this morning. I saw quite a few more bikes coming. So anyways, just lots of opportunities. Tim's aware of many of the grants, so he's going to kind of give us a heads up. But I think it's a very good study that is going to help open up grants. Tim's had a lot of success. I mean, he doesn't brag a lot, but I think he got new LED lighting for almost all of Thief River Falls City. So he's very proactive and has had really good success rates with grants and stuff.
What is the percentage of kids that live in town that bus? I mean, I live like a mile from the school right off of there, and I feel like all the kids in my area bus, which just seems crazy because we're so within walking distance.
Yeah, I know the district policy is we don't bus within 4 blocks of the school, and we pick up kids pretty much on the other side of the school. I think it's just, I think we would love to try to get those kids walking, biking, rollerblading, whatever, skateboarding to school, but it's the study and the survey to parents really were very concerned. I think especially kids crossing that 3rd Avenue, Barrett Street, and Central Avenue is just huge barrier. I think crossing guards, which we got about a $5,000, $5,200 grant from MnDOT for a boost grant, so that will eliminate barriers. But there's some neat things with like double sidewalks, for walkers versus bikers, things like that. And then we have a nice nature center. It'd be nice to bring some sidewalks around through there and maybe do something in the nature center. The north side of the building, north side of the property on 3rd Avenue would be a great place for parents to drop off kids. I know Darren and Dawn and myself, we had a big meeting, and that's a big congested area in the mornings to where if we could encourage parents to drop off on Third Avenue and have a nice sidewalk, comes directly into our playground, into the building, would alleviate a lot of congestion, and there's no houses on the north side of our property. Across the street there is, but, so it's a perfect opportunity to park on the south side of Third Avenue and drop kids off, so. So anyways, yeah, we walked the whole property, and Tim had lots of really good ideas for where we could bring sidewalks.
Do we have like the big flashy lights like they have over by the high school? I just noticed like, cause I drive down Fisher and like when it's not school, people just blow through that. But those big flashy lights I've noticed have really at least slowed people down in the morning.
And that's one of the things that we're suggesting that we do, gets flashing lights going down there.
Yeah,
Not
and
that that's a solution, but I have
helps.
myself noticed people actually slow down in the morning.
on the
there.
south side of Highland School in the front, on the opposite, on the south side of the street, there's a sign that's timed, cause my understanding, if they go all the time, people ignore them, but they're timed, so they do go on in the morning.
Yep.
And the law enforcement, Darren, Don, have been awesome. There's a squad car in the front of Highland School at all times, in the mornings pretty much, you know, that they're regulating traffic, so the speed in front of Highland isn't the problem. The problem is crossing Barrett, Central, and Third Avenue, and even after we met with Darren and kind of shared some numbers, they've been definitely enforcing that Third Avenue area with people that they go through that stop sign pretty good. So they've done a great job with helping out there, but, so.
There is the same size for me. At the high school, we have them all in front.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I don't,
I know there's other areas of concern, but when we did that grant, we did them for both schools, so. Does help some, I think, out front, but.
yeah, I mean, I live off of Barrett and in the morning, it is crazy. It looks like a freeway going back and forth down there.
But it would be nice to have more of those, because a lot of people come in from the country, coming in from the east side of Highland, and they're coming in 50, 60, 65 miles an hour into that zone there that, you know, the flashing lights slow people down, and the enforcement has been awesome. They'll literally park a car right in the street with the lights flashing, but, so there's some additional places for some lighting. I know those things are really expensive to put in, but that's things that the grant can help pay for some of those.
On that highway on 7th Avenue, have you thought about putting speed signs on those outer roads? Those people are going 40, 50 miles an hour on 7th Avenue. And maybe there should be some signs up saying, 30 or 25 miles an hour, because those kids are walking on the sidewalks here too, so.
7th Avenue?
Yeah, 7th Avenue coming from the courthouse, that highway.
Oh.
7th Street, straight down. Yeah, it's North Central. Yeah. There's a lot
Brendan
of-
or Chuck, that,
There's a lot of traffic.
aren't we doing an assessment of sidewalks and roads? So we could possibly utilize this part as well as for consideration of those? This report is part of that? Chuck?
Or is
idea?
this more like, cause I just know a lot of these are new sidewalks,
Well,
like,
I work with your city staff already on trying to get some grant money for,
But I know that we're doing an
Sidewalks.
assessment of all sidewalks,
Yeah.
and so I think this wouldn't hurt to have as part of that in
this
consideration.
helps with those grants also.
Right, right. So, thank you guys for that, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay. Brings us to the agenda. Does anyone wish to add anything to tonight's agenda? Do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tim. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Henry. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Briggs,
Aye.
Cavalier,
Aye.
Clot,
Aye.
Menard,
Aye.
Hima,
hi,
Jurdy,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Okay, this brings us to the consent agenda. Does anyone wish to remove anything from the consent agenda? I have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Thank you, Clayton. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Delane. Roll call, please.
Briggs,
Aye.
Cavalier,
Aye.
Clot,
Aye.
Menard,
Aye.
Hima,
hi.
Jurdy,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. No public hearings, regular agenda. Ashley, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Item 8.01 is a resolution regarding a variance at 442 Marin Avenue in the city of Crookston, Norcross subdivision parcel number 82.2978.00.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Thank you, Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Don. Thank you. Discussion. Corky, please.
What this is a proposed variance for the parcel or a parcel in the area where you last did a rezoning. The people who sought the rezoning are also seeking a variance for the removal of a structure that's there, and then the construction of a new building, which would be potentially encroaching without the invariance on the sidewalk setback, or the side lot setback. This has been reviewed by the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission unanimously recommends this be allowed. There is a truck business there, a trucking business, and they've had to be outside to do some of their work. If the variance is allowed, they can construct a new building, have the trucks inside so they don't have to be outside. So the Planning Commission is recommending the allowance of this variance.
For clarification, this is just a garage. Does not have any living quarters or anything like that.
That's my understanding, it's a garage, no living quarters.
And it's clarified that will not be allowed.
It will be allowed with the change of zoning, which you approved.
The living quarters in this new structure.
Oh, there will be no living.
No.
It's just
No.
Okay.
No, there's a old building up there, or an old house that they're gonna tear down too, to make more room for truck access, and they're gonna clean it up, which will be a nice area up in there. Further discussion? Hearing none, can I have roll call, please?
Briggs,
Aye.
Cavalier,
Aye.
Plot,
Aye.
Menard,
Aye.
Hibma,
Aye.
Jurdy, Fisher.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Item 8.02 is a resolution regarding approving the City of Crookston's record retention and data management policy.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So move, Your Honor.
Thank you, Don. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Clayton. Discussion. Corky, please.
Yeah, what this is we've been working with CLA, in particular Michelle, who has been working on various policies through the financial department. The record retention and data management policy hasn't been updated for a considerable period of time. And we need to do this in order for us to destroy any records at some point, if they need be. And we're asking for your approval. This has been reviewed by Michelle from CLA. It's been reviewed by myself as well. And we're recommending that this be approved for an updated records retention and data management policy.
What are the major changes that have been?
Major changes are some definitional ones, updating the public data, private data, those type of things, and just the procedure where we would have to have an approval for some record destruction, should that be necessary, relating to, we could notify the Historical Society of the state if we needed to. But old payroll records, police department records, just updating that, since it hasn't been done for a considerable time.
Further discussion? Hearing none, can I have roll call, please?
Briggs,
Aye.
Cavalier,
Aye.
Plot,
Aye.
Menard,
Aye.
Hibma,
Aye.
Jurdy,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Item 8.03 is a resolution regarding approving the City of Crookston's data practice policy for the public.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Henry. Is there a second?
Second, Your Honor.
I heard,
Either of Don or
let's go with
Delane.
Delane.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Discussion.
Yes, what this is, as you all are aware, there are data practice and policies for the public. One of the changes it makes it more in common language, so that's hopefully more readily understandable. It also talks about that initially we can offer that the records can be reviewed here at City Hall, and work out how an individual might want to come here and review them without having to pay. Also, at some point, they may wish to have electronic data disseminated to them in a way that we have it recorded, but that's how we have to disseminate it, not to their particular means. But really, I think overall what we're doing is making common language more readily understandable about how we respond to requests for public data access requests. We do have a policy in place now. It's fairly old, and this just, I think, will clarify or make more clear and understandable how you request and how the city responds.
Thank you. Further discussion?
So does this make it easier for the public to access data?
I believe it is, yes.
Further discussion? Hearing none, can I roll call, please?
Briggs,
Aye.
Cavalier,
Aye.
Clot,
Aye.
Menard,
Aye.
Hibma,
Aye.
Jurdy, Fisher.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Item 8.04 is discussion and a resolution regarding inviting the final candidates for the city administrator position interviews.
Thank you. I think before we ask for the resolution on this one, why don't we have a discussion on regarding who we would like to possibly bring up for in-person interview?
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Sure.
So, I guess, personally, I guess I would like to bring all three of them up. And the reason I say that
What do you
is,
mean, all three?
There's 4 of
or I
them.
mean, three of the four.
Okay.
And, let me look at my notes here. I am looking at, I'll even say, I'm looking at bringing Jeff Shoebridge up, Pat Omen, and Mark, I'm sorry, how do you pronounce his?
Lossling.
Lossling. Mark it seemed like he was kind of nervous in his interview process, but I go back to the last candidate when we were doing,
Why don't we, kind of go, I mean, shouldn't we go through and get everybody's opinion on it and narrow it down from there?
My understanding too is that I thought Patty was just telling us to give our top candidates and that there wouldn't be too much discussion about the individual
Yeah.
people.
We
okay?
just want to go
I
around.
thought we were gonna
Yeah,
give
let's go
like
around.
numbers of the,
Well, it's not numbers. 'cause
It's
all
names.
It's
public
their
knowledge
names now. Yeah.
So if you
You can
just
give our
want,
like top 2 or 3 and then we can discuss.
how about who you would like to see go through would be, so if you just say, I want 3, and then name those 3 or 2.
Yeah,
Just
let's
name
just
the
do that.
candidates that you'd like to see go through.
I think that's what Patty had kind of asked us to do at the
Yep.
last meeting.
Because I
Okay.
think her recommendation is she didn't want to hurt, anything said that could hurt someone's reputation.
Sure,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Okay.
Right, just articulate who.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, let's go to Clayton.
My vote is that the 4 candidates not move forward.
so none of the 4?
What?
You said none of the 4? Okay,
Do you have a reasoning?
Just the background that we did that I did personally and looked into things, I just don't see that they're the right fit.
okay,
Okay,
None.
okay. We'll just go
Henry.
from, what did you just want to go how they voted before? So we'll just go Cavalier next.
oh,
So like how they did their voting.
okay, sure, makes it easier for you. Go with
Yeah.
Don.
Okay,
Just go, I would like to be passed for a second here.
Want to pass for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, Delane?
so just name my candidates from,
Yes. Who would you like to see come forward?
so I'd like, Jeff and Pat. And I guess I would just like to stick with the 2, if we,
okay,
you know,
yep.
Tim?
Well, I'm torn. I don't want to fail the search, but I'm not, I'm not ready to recommend anybody just yet, so.
So none
I'll
of them?
pass.
So you say, you're passing or none?
I'll pass.
Okay.
You can come back.
Okay. Morgan?
I guess I'm where Tim, where I don't feel comfortable with a lot of them. I would say coming in to this, I was the same with Clayton, but based on their requests and recommendations from employees, I would be okay with Jeff, just based on.
What was the last?
She was in favor of moving Jeff Shoebridge forward.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Christie?
I think I'm with Don and Tim on this. I don't know if I feel comfortable with any of the candidates at this time.
So you are saying none?
I think I just need more time to maybe review and actually get some answers for a couple of things that I found.
So is my understanding, I'm sorry, I just need some clarification here because we need to have a consensus to be able to give Patty information to move forward with this because it's a timed thing, and so none of you.
I just want to say one thing. I mean, this day and age and what we're up against in the hiring of people, I think this group of candidates is a lot better than the last group of candidates that we had. I just don't know if we're gonna continue to, I mean, I'm not sure exactly. I mean, a couple of these candidates are very well qualified. One was in the top 4 for the city of Fargo. I mean, we're Crookston. So one gentleman made the cut for Fargo. So I think we got some pretty high qualified candidates here. And if you're looking at some of the past history of some of these folks being fired, listen, I think a lot of that says more to some of the boards sometimes as it does the candidate itself. If a candidate goes into a situation where they see that they have a lot to clean up, but the board doesn't agree, then, you know, the person's gonna do the job, and if the board doesn't agree, then they're gonna move on. But I mean, just looking from this batch versus the last batch that we had before, I think this is like
Well,
a huge improvement. And I'm just not sure, like I said, I know the employment market out there. People in here do, and it's a tough market out there in all avenues of employment everywhere. Sure, if we talk to our department heads, hiring in the police department, fire department, hiring is hard. So I mean, I think we need to look at a couple, 3 of these candidates possibly that's just my thought.
I'm not against it, Delane. I just want a little bit more time. I mean, I feel like this is like Thursday and having the time to actually like answer some of my questions, kind of seeing what the options and things are. I just would like a little bit more time. I understand that there is that, you know, people have other, whatever, are in the lead for other things as well, but I just feel like I could use a little bit more time. And whether that's us coming in for like a special meeting on a Wednesday or something, just to like give those or decide on that. I don't feel personally comfortable right now making this decision.
But this is just for in-person interviews, so you're not making a decision, you're just making a decision to be able to have them come forth to see.
I'm familiar. I understand
So-
that. That's not the problem. I still would like to read through these and think about it a little bit longer.
And as you indicated, 1 or more of these candidates have been finalists
Yes.
and have irons in the fire, and without moving any forward, you may potentially lose one, just, you understand that.
Understandable.
So are you saying that you want to go and scrub this group and go?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
If I said that, I would have just said, let's fail the search. That's not what
Alright.
I'm saying.
Well, that's what I'm just asking.
I'm just
trying to
asking
clarify.
for a little bit more time. That's
Okay.
all I'm asking for.
So my question for like Don and Tim and Christy, if we were to do that, knowing that we need to do that, would you guys feel comfortable this week having that special session, or?
Yeah, I just need a little bit more time.
But
I mean, they all
there
happened by
has,
Thursday, and then we had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then have to make a decision, and I just feel like that's a little bit rushed for what we're doing.
in order to do a special council meeting, you have to have 3-day notice. So, well, the soonest you could do it, if we did it by Tuesday, would be Friday.
Friday.
I can say I cannot be here Thursday or Friday.
And I just think, you know, I think we get a pretty good idea who we wanted to, do an in-person interview after we had the, Zoom meetings with each of these candidates. You know, if you're looking in their future background, if we're looking for baggage or whatever, I think every one of us around this table has had baggage in the past. It's,
Well, I think you have to look at each person individually and what their history is and what their qualifications are. And there are some that had some problems, major problems. And I just don't think we have a good group of people here they're good people, but there's still some questions in my mind about a couple of them.
Would you want us to contact Patty this evening now? Or,
Yeah.
you know, one way to look at it is, what have you lost by bringing one or more of the candidates here? You could address those issues. That's completely up to you. Would you like us to get a hold of Patty to answer some of your
I mean,
questions?
another way to think about it, if you're not ready to scrub the group, possibly then bring all 4 again and maybe ask another round of questions, or if there's something that you feel that wasn't asked the first time. You know, I understand the interview process, everybody has to be asked the same question and stuff like that, but maybe, you know, one thing I wish that, I mean, maybe get a consensus of different questions we as a council would like to ask maybe more. I mean, I think there was a little bit, I think we could have put in our input, and I did, to Patty of some questions that I wanted to, one of the things I was looking for is somebody strong in finance, because I feel that our city needs somebody strong in that area right now. And, you know, and I feel two of these candidates have, you know, are very qualified in that area. But like I said, I just don't know. If we're looking for better quality candidates, I'm not sure if there's gonna be more or better quality candidates in the next round if we happen to scrub this group, I guess, if it goes down that path. Just
I like to see, before we move forward, Henry, your thoughts, please.
I would like to start getting this rolling, because I mean, like you said, Friday's gonna be the first time we're gonna be able to do this. We're gonna be kicking this can down the road, and we're gonna be back where we started again.
Who candidates
Who are your
would you like to
candidates?
bring up here?
I'll do Mark and Jeff.
Okay,
Mark and Jeff.
I mean, I just have hesitation who I would actually bring on, and I would prefer, if we're gonna do that, just bring all 4 of them on and just be able to do a little bit deeper of a dive if we're gonna do that. Because I do have hesitations and concerns about some of them, and so.
And I concur with Christie.
So you're saying you would take all 4 of them right now, then sitting and thinking and having a little more time?
Yes.
I mean, I guess I'm in the minority, I guess, but like I said, I like to pick 2. I could be convinced to go 3, but
I thought
like I said, I don't think I'm probably in the minority, it sounds like.
I guess too, you look at hiring, I mean, just internal, we have issues trying to find a HR person, IT person, finance director. I mean, it's tough to find employment. I don't care what trade you're in, it's just a struggle to
Yeah.
find people.
It's a bad year with an election year too.
I thought we were going to boil this down to 2 people
Oh,
out of the 4.
Well,
when
you-
we were
but you
talking
didn't want to
about it.
pick 2, Don.
Pardon?
Are you ready to pick 2?
Are you ready to pick 2?
Just about, just thinking here a couple. This is a hard decision.
I guess,
That's That's why I said, like, I would like more time. My alternative would be just to bring them all four on, and then that would give me the more time to review and consider, and then also just see them all in the various processes, whether that's with the community and what have you,
But we have to be mindful too of the public expenditure because you're utilizing public expenditure when you're having these people come aboard, so.
I understand that.
Well, I guess it sounds like we've got a couple council members that don't wanna bring really anybody up, so, I mean, what's the point of bringing all four?
Like I said, I'm not quite ready to make that decision, so that would be my alternative if we're trying to come to a compromise.
I had to get that other book out.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you just gotta bear in mind, there are 2 or more who already are finalists, and I hope,
I'm concerned that we're possibly going to let couple of very good candidates slip through our fingers.
Yep, I am too.
and the earliest would be, in person would be Friday. We do have one who's in Florida, and we have others, so we'd have to get a hold of them, see if they can come.
You know, and then the timeline to get all four of them up here, or at least 3 of them up here, I seen the timeline,
Well, it looked like everybody was available on the 21st.
Yeah, but there are dates that they said that they were available. So there's dates next week that they're available.
I would
I mean,
not be,
Yeah, I would say like, I mean, if we're talking about our dates of having people up here, I am not available during the day from the 20th.
I will not be in the area on the 21st or the 22nd, doing medical.
yeah, and
I'm out
my
of-
schedule's tough as well.
Yeah, we're gone.
It was the one.
Do we have Patty that, are we able to call
We can get, if you want, we can get
Patty on the
Patty
line?
on the phone.
Keenan.
I guess, I know the department heads also interviewed. I would like to see, if possible, what their thinking is too. I mean, they gotta work
Well,
with
we
them.
got a summary of what.
We
they-
did.
Yeah,
I don't wanna
We're
put
gonna-
anybody
so it's
on.
already there.
I mean, I guess, would it be easier, this could be a stupid idea, just go around with each one and see if, who we want, and then like just do it one by one,
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Agent logged in.
But
just something?
I think,
But I think we kinda did that, but.
I think
some
if-
didn't
Yeah, I
wanna
think we
see
just did
anybody.
that, didn't we?
Well, no, I mean, like, go around and be like, who was happy with,
but I think if you're
Who's
just
okay with
bringing in one candidate, it sounds like you're already offering that person that job.
Yeah, you have to bring
I don't know.
Who suggested that?
I just gave one name, but I can give a second if need be.
I'm just saying, if everybody just gave their top pick, it sounds like you're already offering that person a job.
Well,
I
I
don't think
just
that's a
think,
good idea.
no, and I think they're, possibly what
Is it Colleen?
some of the candidates, there's probably a dark horse in there that would be a good fit.
And if you just bring one and that person takes another job, then you're left with nothing.
You have reached Patty Hemanover's cell phone. Please leave me a message.
We'll see if she calls back.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would like for everybody to give 2 names and go two possible names, but if we can't do that, I don't know what we're doing at this point.
So are you saying if you give 2 names and pick the highest 2 names, or did you want to bring, how many did you guys want to bring forward?
I mean,
Are you
I'm
having a
thinking-
consensus of 3?
I'm thinking 2,
Okay.
Silver for me.
but I could convince it to be 3. But I mean, but I think we go with 2 because we're getting them down there, then they know they're made the 50% cut. And then we're off and running, but I mean, so I think we need to go around, now's the time to do pick your names of your top 2 and the majority wins of the top 2.
could give top three.
I agree with Delane. I mean, we
I'm
need
gonna
to,
give a top three.
are you ready?
Yep.
So should we start again with Clayton and we'll just work our way with how it was with roll call?
Pick a number here.
Okay,
Okay, we'll start with Clayton and work our way. Are we saying your top three then?
I guess we gotta narrow it down. I'd say top three.
Okay,
Yep, I would too.
all right, Clayton.
Clayton's a nay on all.
Okay,
Don,
Kerry, Jeff, Shorbridge, and Pat Omen.
so Jeff and Pat.
and who?
And Carrie.
And Kerry.
Delane.
I'll pick Jeff, Pat, and Mark.
Okay,
Tim?
I will pick Carrie, Jeff, and Pat.
Morgan?
I can give Jeff and Mark. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll do Jeff, Carrie, and I'm just gonna do two.
We do 2 and 3.
You can do just two, or,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just do Jeff and Mark. I'll stick with what I said before.
I can,
I did a thing. Hold on.
sorry, yours is not there.
I'm debating if I should go down to two or three again. I'd go with Jeff. And I still wanna bring three, Pat and Mark.
So Jeff, Pat, and Mark. Okay.
If we gotta do another round and narrow it down to two, I'll do that.
So that puts the top one at
Th-
Jeff with 7 votes.
Jeff has 7, Mark has 4, and Pat has 5.
So the consensus is,
Okay,
do we want to do 2 or 3?
I
oh, we
think
just said three.
Corky, Pat would be at 4.
What's that?
Pat would be at 4.
Who was that? We
Oh, who-
have
who knocked him
Don,
out?
we have Don, Delane, and Tim did Pat. Is there somebody else?
And Dale.
And Dale? Okay.
Oh, you took Pat out?
No, I'm just saying you said Pat had 5 votes. He only had 4 votes.
Yeah. Don, Tim. So, hold on, let me see here. Don, Delane, Tim, and Dale. There's 3. Morgan didn't, she only did 2.
Okay.
So Carrie has 3. 7. 4. 4. So Mark and Pat both have 4.
So what's the numbers?
We have Jeff at 7, we have Mark and Pat at 4, and we have Carrie at 3.
So then bring the top 3 then, since the 2 are tied.
I agree.
Would you like to do roll call on that?
Okay,
Or are we just doing a
now
consensus?
I ask for a resolution to approve inviting these three finalists.
Read
Yep.
those again.
Huh?
So
Read
it's
those finalists again.
Jeff, Mark, and Pat.
I'll
will be
make
the-
I'll make a motion to bring Jeff, Mark, and Pat
I'll
forward.
second the motion.
Okay, motion by Delane, second by
Dawn.
Don. Let's have roll call on that, please.
Briggs,
Nay, pass.
Cavalier,
Aye.
Clot,
Aye.
Menard,
Pass.
Hibma,
Aye.
Jurdy,
Aye.
Fisher?
I
We have 5. The vote passes.
Thank you. Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
If you would have the possibility of indicating when you would be available within the next 10 days, because we'll have to coordinate that with Patty, to get them, see if they're available.
So Corky, let's be a little bit more clear on that. What do you need us to do? What do we need to give you?
To
Just
email
one of the days that like is on that thing?
Yes, the days.
One of those we can actually do and not do?
Yes,
And do you have a
yes.
time frame? Because I think we
Yes.
need, our council needs that.
Yes,
When do we need to have that to you by?
as soon as possible. Probably, we can't have, if we don't get it before Wednesday, we can't have a meeting this week. We'd have to have it next week and arrange for the,
I'm gone.
The notice to go out to the public to
Okay,
let them
so
know.
by Wednesday, you would need to have council have
Yes.
that available.
dates and times available.
Check the availability that you received from Patty, if you
Yes.
can correlate with that. And then if you have questions on timing, we can
And
let
as
you
far
know.
as the per diem for the candidate,
It-
is that,
That's in the
It's in your
resolution.
resolution.
It's in the
Yeah.
If
resolution.
they're more than 300 miles away, compensation,
Right.
Yes, it's in the resolution.
it's in there.
all right.
Okay. Moving on to reports. Corky.
Well, we had a number of discussions regarding a potential new logo for the city. As you're all aware, the IT director declined the offer. We've had work compensation meetings. We have a couple of potential claims there. We had small cities grant discussions. We had a police officer interview. Attended marketing presentations at UMC. We've had weekly, if not daily, conversations with CLA regarding our financial matters. I met personally with Randy Bergquist to discuss the daycare situation and the decision of the school district to not renew the lease for the child care at Washington. We've had some meetings to discuss airport reimbursements. We've had interviews and discussions regarding the ox cart days. I've had Eller's team investment meetings. And we've had some sidewalk meetings with Seth regarding Brian's Follett's issue as a representative of the Woods. And we've had city administrator interviews, obviously, and HR coordinator interviews, and I did extend an offer to one of the candidates after our reviews. Morgan was present, and also Holly from finance. And I have not heard back. I extended the offer on Friday. That's it.
Thank you. Since Michelle was asking the order of how I go here, instead of going rogue, we'll start with her tonight.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I was here last time, but I will reintroduce myself. My name is Michelle Hoffman with CLA. Both myself and a couple of my colleagues have been, working with the city, as you know, on a lot of different financial matters over the last few weeks. So I just thought I'd give a brief update. As far as some of the ongoing work we're doing, certainly we're still working on some catch up for final 2023 and of course into 2024. As part of that, as we go, part of that process is looking at policies and procedures in developing, making sure that we have a really good, thorough accounting policy and procedure manual. So going forward, in the event of whether it's turnover, retirement, people out for a period of time, that we really have those procedures in place, obviously with the idea that anyone could pick that up and really kind of slide right in. And so I've been working with, the rest of the finance team as we kind of go through each of those processes to see what really works, what works with the finance system, what works with, their current role, maybe realigning some things. So as you can imagine, that is certainly, it's not an overnight process. As part of that, I've also been taking a look at the current policies the city has in place. I've been able to find some of them that, not a lot of them, but the ones I have found are, go back to kind of 2011, 12, kind of that kind of time range. So part of that is also just really looking at what policies the city might be missing and which ones the city has, but really should maybe revise, take a look at, maybe some language, especially if it's accounting specific, needs to be updated. So just ensuring that we really get all those policies updated. And then we have a cadence going forward for, just kind of re-reviewing those, whether it's every 5 years, maybe some of them get re-reviewed. So in future meetings, you'll probably see a few more policies popping up each meeting as we go. I know earlier you saw the record retention data management policy that I put out there as that Corky and I put together as we're starting to go through just records in general, as that's obviously also part of the project and part of what we'll be working on. As far as, my on-site time too, that's something else we're kind of finalizing. The plan has certainly always been for me to be here every couple of weeks at least to follow the cadence of when you all meet so that I can be here. So that is still the case, but we are all, looking at potentially me being on site maybe once a week for a couple of days as well. So fine tuning that cadence to kind of, at least for the near term, to really kind of hopefully help meet the needs as we're in the audit season as well. So speaking of that, that's kind of the last thing I will touch on is audit prep is going pretty well. I've been in touch with the audit firm, and as I mentioned last time I was here, sometime we're a little bit at the mercy now once we reschedule an audit as to where we fit in their schedule. So they did reach out and mentioned early June would be a timing that would work for them. So that's the time period and that's for them to come start the audit. So it's not necessarily issuance the audit. So that's when they're planning to come start the audit. We are making pretty good progress on audit prep. We've gotten into a lot of different areas and really getting a lot of those areas close. So we're hoping that should be feasible. From there, there's a few pieces that go into it as to when it will be issued. I would really hope for a July type issuance. But we did actually get an update. I will say that one of the things that in the future too will go into this is that the Economic Development Authority audit is it sounds like the timing of that one is middle to late June. And that audit does roll into the city's audit. So at this point, I don't think the city would be able to audit. Their audit would not be able to get issued by June 30th anyway, because their audit is not done in time. Their audit being done at the end of June isn't enough time to get it into the city audit. So that's just something we'll have to work on going forward. It's kind of probably a moot point this year, but just something that we'll definitely want to make sure we work on the timing of that as our goal. Certainly for next year would be to get the city in line to really have your audit issued by June 30th. So that is my update. Anyone have any questions?
Is it just a matter for the economic development and schedule it until then, or is it just a matter?
I believe they had their audit started last week. So it would just be a discussion to see, would they be able to schedule it a couple weeks earlier? Is there something they could do just with the timing of it to get it done? Even probably if it's done by late May would be ideal to get it into the city report, and depending on the exact timing of when we're trying to issue the city. So it would just be a discussion, going forward to see if that one could be ready and happening earlier than, end of April was when obviously they started it, I believe last week or the week before. So either end of April, early May. So it would just be a discussion with them to see if we can move that up a little bit.
Morgan and Tim, since you're on the economic development, is that something maybe you could bring up with them and see if we can in the future?
Yep. Can do.
Perfect.
Thank
Anything
you.
else? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Michelle.
Michelle. Chuck, please.
Good evening. First, I just want to say thanks to Brandon for correcting me on that. Without having the policy in front of me, I wasn't quite sure, but some of the things going on in Public Works. I've been meeting with Widseth and some of the contractors on the street projects. The update I have from them. On Houston, curb and gutter will be, they're going to start working on that this week. The sidewalk on North Broadway will continue to sit for a while. They think they're going to get to that next week. And later this week, Houston, where it kind of turns into Hunter, they're going to close down that point. I'm going to reach out to Tri-Valley and the Crookston School District here and inform them that they might have to arrange different pickup points or routes for the buses to get the children. I was told we ran into those issues last year when they were doing the utilities over there and they had to close the streets down. the Public Works crew, they're prepping for mosquitoes. They put out the little bags of larvicide. They're getting the machinery ready. We're continuing to cut down trees. We found out today that the hot patch factories, I guess you can call them, open today. So tomorrow we should be starting on filling potholes. I was collecting a list and had a rather decent sized list from the residents that have called in, and we'll be going out starting tomorrow, taking care of the potholes. Some other things I've been working on, we just have been awarded a FEMA grant for the Riverside buyout. I'm going to be working with Corky and Tanner to get that process going. We have to acquire the house first from the current owner and then start reaching out for demolition bids and following the EPA guidelines. Stephen from AE2S is going to help out with that as well because it can be pretty stringent. Just a lot of moving parts. We're going to try to get that going as fast as possible. And as well, I am working on a pre-application for the Houston, for the residents on the Houston erosion. They had a survey done. The survey is still continuing. The results from that weren't, I guess you could say, in the favor of the residents, to all of them. For some of them, it favored them. They were looking for a 20% rate of erosion over the past 5 years. And it was lacking for some of the residents there, but I'm going to continue with the pre-application. So if new info data comes in, we can assist those residents.
So it needs to be 20% for,
20% rate of erosion.
okay.
Yeah. For some of the residents, if you looked at it, it should be up to their back door. But it's not
So
there.
that 20% is over a 5-year period?
Yes. Yeah, it wasn't showing that. It was falling short for some of the residents.
So the initial start of it, there was measurements done 5 years ago to get a baseline?
So the engineering company they used, used Google Earth, and we're trying to take measurements from the road to what they could see as far as the edge of the cliff there, and we're measuring that over the past couple of years.
So if they had the survey of their land and it showed it that it should be way out there,
Yes,
but you can't prove that that was within 5 years.
correct. So there's going to be, the survey is going to continue, and, you know, just, that's going to be handled through the watershed. And then as the city's due diligence, I'm just going to start the pre-application for it and have it set aside. And our rep, Nikki, with Homeland Security Emergency Management, is she'll shoot me an email as soon as something opens up. And then if we have the data to support getting the grant, we submit everything when we have that. Let's see, some other items we're working on.
Thank you for reaching out to FEMA about that.
What's that?
Thanks for reaching out to FEMA on that.
Yeah, no problem. Let's see. Grant for Riverside House. Oh, just working with AE2S, bringing them up to date, giving them a tour of the city, and we're compiling a list of certain areas we'd like them to start on first. And that's it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Kean, anything from marketing?
Yeah, let me just start off by saying apologies for the YouTube link not going live right away. Got it all straightened out and we've been live for a while now. Just wanted to assure everybody about that. Yeah, a couple of things that we're working on right now. Coming up on Wednesday over at Crookston High School, we've partnered with the superintendent, Randy, over there to do a student job fair for students, high school students 9 through 12. We, as of this morning, have about 24 employers lined up, and it's a variety of everybody from manufacturing to restaurants to transportation and pretty much everybody in between. The employers are utilizing it for different things. Some are looking for, just some summer help. Others are looking at targeting those juniors and seniors that are going to be looking for career opportunities in the city of Crookston. So it should be a really good turnout over there for employers, and we're looking forward to it and hoping to make it a regular thing. And then the last thing that I have for you guys tonight, I've been working very closely with the department heads and other community members to put together a City of Crookston newsletter. I got that sent out right now for production, and I'm hoping to be able to have that up on the City of Crookston website by June 1st. And then we're also looking at different avenues for getting the information out there as well. Just some of the categories that are included in there, things like contact information for all of our representatives at City Hall, the latest news from department heads. This year is an election year, so we have election information, community events that are going to be coming up here over the summer, and things like that. So wanted to have it be a resource for everybody to be able to know their city, and we put together just a really good collection of information, and we're looking to basically just keep it going and just want it to be a resource for everybody.
How often will that be put out?
So right now we're looking at a quarterly. So right now the one that's going to be coming out June 1st is the summer newsletter.
Okay. And have you been doing the audit of the website?
Yep, so I've been working with the department heads to be able to update their information, and then as well as other parts of the website to, one, update any outdated information, but also just make information easier to find for everybody.
Can you double check on our contact information? Because I've had some people call and say that that's not accurate.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go ahead and I'll put that right on my list.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Darren?
Yeah, thank you. Just real quick, patrol investigations remain extremely busy. This week is National Police Week. So this week's dedicated to celebrating the contributions of law enforcement from around the country, and we honor and pay special recognition to the officers given the ultimate sacrifice and lost their lives in the line of duty. This Thursday, May 16th, several officers from the Crookston Police Department again will be attending the 12th Annual Northern Valley Police Week Memorial Service at Optimus Park in Grand Forks. Officer Don Rascott will be participating in the wreath placement. I think we've been part of that planning committee and part of the organization since its inception about 12 years ago. There's a couple other things. Community outreach. We participated last Wednesday in the National Bike and Roll to School Day. We assisted in greeting and providing kids with treats as they arrived to school on their bikes. And then on Thursday, we also participated in the senior resource fair at the library. We had a booth there, and we're handing out some educational materials. And just a special thanks, to Officer Don Rascott for helping coordinate that internally at the police department, attending both of those events along with other officers. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jake, anything?
No report tonight, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Greg?
No report tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you. Brandon?
We're just coming into summer, and with this summer developing our CIP, we don't have any large water main replacements planned just because we don't know where we're going with our street improvements. So we're going to try and pick away at some maybe problem areas, some looping areas. We had another water main break on Bolio. It's about 200 feet of old cast iron. We've been there 2 to 3 times a year for years. I think we're gonna try and put PVC in there. Today the guys were working on getting a water and sewer line run into the Carnfield bathroom, and we'll maybe pick away at a few lead service lines if we get to it. But we're getting into digging season. Oh, and we got a hydrant that's out of service out by Todd's Tire, so probably next week we'll get that repaired. But it's digging season for us, and we'll be wrecking the roads, and Chuck will be fixing the roads. So, any questions?
How's the surveys coming for the lead pipes into the houses?
We had a pretty good response. When I asked Lynn last week, I think about half of the homes had responded. So, my next step was gonna be to have the guys hang a door hanger. We sent out a mailing, so not everybody looks at their mail, but usually when they have a red piece of paper hanging from their door, they'll see it. So that's the next step, and then as we get to the end of July, we'll probably have to get maybe one last notice with a 2-week deadline for shut-offs, just to get a response. But we had a pretty good response. I gotta clean up the spreadsheet a little bit. You know, Polk County sent us a parcel spreadsheet, and we only have 1,900 services in town, and there's 3,000 properties, parcels in Crookston, a lot of which don't have water services. So, I think we're 2/3 of the way just from the letter. So we got a lot better response from the mailing than I thought we would. So, and there's 1 or 2 that trickle in every day still. So we're getting there. I'll have a good list together by August, and we'll be ready for that process.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon. Shane, anything?
Yeah, just a couple things. Loud enough? Tim?
Yes, thank
We're good?
you.
Okay. Sorry, I've been critiqued a little bit. I gotta talk into the microphone. So, I appreciate that. I'm learning. We had a CERT meeting. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
That's a joke, sorry. Long story short, we're working on another one for council members. So be patient. I'll get that information out to you as soon as I can. You've probably heard it on the radio, but this year we have changed our open house from October. It is actually now going to happen this weekend. So this Saturday from 10 to 1 at the fire station. One of the big reasons is we've got all of the paid-on-call firefighters. We've got an agriculturally driven community. Every one of them is out helping a farmer haul sugar beets at that point in time. So we're trying to change it. Hopefully it's going to help get more firefighters down to be able to showcase what we have and everything that we do. So once again, that's from 10 to 1, so please stop down. Participated in a Riverview operating room fire drill, which was very interesting. I've never been dolled out in scrubs and hairnets and everything like that. So I want to thank Matt Johnson for inviting me to that, because that was fun and a really good learning experience for us on our end. I want to thank Keenan for helping with the website audit. Learning a lot of things there, maybe some things that we got to get touched up on. So don't worry, I'll delegate that. We'll make sure we get it taken care of. It's that time of year. We got property complaints coming in, so we're trying to address those as soon as we can and get those working. Same thing working with Keenan, and we are attempting to get a fire department Facebook page up. It's kind of been a long process, but once we get that, I know working with Keenan, we're going to be able to try to get that up and running, figuring out what we're going to post. Hiring process, we've got an interview on Wednesday, so hopefully that's looking positive. And last thing I got is I got to thank Tina Trosted. Right now we are dealing with a FEMA grant closeout, and we kind of up on a deadline on that. So, Corky, I'm taking her away from you tomorrow morning, because we got some stuff that we got to get taken care of. So I got to get the I's dotted and the T's crossed on that.
I think we need a resolution on that.
That's what we've had so far.
Got it.
Yeah. So,
I'll make the motion.
Yeah.
Second. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good job.
Stephen, I'd like to invite you up just to introduce yourself, and I don't know if all council has met you yet, but thanks for being here.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. My name is Stephen Slick. I'm a project manager at AE2S. I worked around the area last 10 years. I've been kind of working with the city the last month now, and it's been a real pleasure to get to know the city, starting to get to know the residents, know the council members. Started working on, did a federal earmark request for the city of Crookston, working on some other grant applications, starting to work and get integrated into the Highway 2 project coming up, and if anything comes up, feel free to reach out, ask Chuck, Corky, anyone else, and we're glad to be here and glad to help the city with anything you need or anything that comes up. So thank you once again, and if anyone has questions, feel free to reach out.
Thanks, Stephen.
Yeah, thank you.
Tim, anything tonight?
Well, they put the fishing dock in and the kayak launch in at Riverside, so get out and enjoy the river.
Have you gotten out and enjoyed the river?
I have. So that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Delane?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you. Don?
No report tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you. Clayton?
Nothing to report.
Henry?
Nothing for me.
Christie?
I don't have anything.
Morgan?
Nope.
Wow. Just a couple things. Brian, thanks for being here tonight. Yeah, your input is valuable to us, whether you think so or not, but thank you for being here. I attended the UMC graduation. It's fun out there. See all these students. I think they had 150 plus that graduated this year, and a lot of excitement. And I probably shouldn't say this, but I am disappointed with the school district for not renewing the lease with our child care. Child care and economic development goes hand in hand, and we need it. And I think we had a good center starting out there, so
Second that.
just disappointed. So
Did we get a valid reason as to why that was?
I haven't heard one. So anyway, we'll just let it
We
go
got a
at that.
reason, we got a reason. I can't put an adjective on it.
We'll just go at that. I'm going, we definitely, I think it's gonna be tough to get a center again, and, even with home daycare, people retiring, so.
I mean, as a community, it's one of the top needs that we have in our city. And I feel that we as a city of Crookston, I mean, I probably shouldn't say this either, but we've supported the school on many different things. And I think they know that childcare is a huge issue in our community. So I am also very disappointed in their decision to shut that down.
Thank you.
I have a question when it comes to childcare. Maybe this isn't the right time to ask it, but would it be worth us partnering with different people in the community and starting a group, which I am happy to be part of and lead, to take on and tackle this initiative of looking at what places may be available, what we could do to help support, I mean, anything in that line. I just think like a group of maybe city council members, EDA, asking from the school, I mean, partnering with all of them to try to figure out how we can help find a solution or support those that want to start a daycare.
True.
Well, I know that there's already a group of daycare providers that kind of meet on a regular basis. So I think this is a place to start, but I'd really like to dig into this a little bit deeper because I feel like, took 2 years, and in Minnesota, just getting any type of center is such a huge undertaking. And I just feel like this is a tremendous loss for our community, and like the city put in money to like have the sidewalk put in for that, in good faith that this was gonna be something that we were gonna do. So I'd really love to hear a little bit more about the reasoning behind it, because it really is a huge blow to our community.
And I think I'd like to go on record agreeing with everything my colleagues have said. It's the #1 issue when constituents stop me while I'm walking the dogs or in the grocery store that comes up. So it really behooves us to really bring this to the top of mind going forward.
I guess, go ahead.
I think what I will do is contact the superintendent tomorrow. I did have a lengthy meeting with him. I will ask for another one and ask for verification on what process, if any, was undertaken, and see what we can find out.
I guess, start up the daycare discussion again. I think instead of trying to completely reinvent the wheel. I can't think of her last name, if she's still there, Maureen from Tri-Valley.
She is still there, yes.
I think that would be a good resource to start with, and
I mean, we've tackled this issue for a long time, and I'm just talking with Tim tonight on the side. I mean, this is totally out in left field, but does the city get into the daycare business? I mean, is that a thought where we operate a daycare business?
I mean, and that's where my thought is like, kind of group of us, and outside of just the city council members, a couple people from the city, a couple people from the EDA, parents, like asking, like getting a core group of people to come up and present and look at what solutions, like, do we know how many kids need daycare in this area? Like, do we have those numbers of, this is how many kids that are in daycare, how many that need daycare, what's the percentage that have to go out of the area for daycare? I mean, are there people that would like to start daycares, but they don't know the resources or how to start it? You know, are there churches that'd be willing to host these or other buildings? You know, like gathering all of that information and starting there and looking, does it need to be a city? Do we need to build a building? Like, what is
Well,
that
I
discussion there?
think one of the main issues, there's just two big issues that I think that prevent people from getting in the daycare business. The first one is all the mountain of red tape that our
Which is-
state
And is
has.
only getting worse.
It's only getting worse. And then people that are in the business, they're doing it just for whatever they're getting. There's no benefits. So then my thought is maybe if the city gets in the daycare business because the community needs it, then maybe they're a city employee per se. Just like I said, this is kind of way out there, but I can't think of any other way to get a daycare going in our community.
Well, I think we actually could be looking at the industry that we have here. Because, I mean, really, it's a three-legged stool here, right? It's daycare, it's workforce, and it's housing. And if you don't have one of those, it's really hard to have the other two. And so I think maybe if we're looking for people who are really trying to get, you know, employees, is it something that we do something in conjunction with, you know, a particular business or businesses, right? Just like, I believe, what's the place in Thief River? The big, DigiKey, thank you. I don't know why I could not think of that. But like they had some type of initiative where they either had in-house daycare or they provided some type of stipend to the local daycares in order to do that, right? So I think that there's a lot of like creative ways that we can go about doing that. And I think that we really do need to continue to focus on this. I'm just incredibly disappointed on just the lack of communication between the school district and us, and not knowing, and I really feel like it really didn't support the greater good of the community, so.
all right. Good discussion, we'll leave it at that. Well, to be continued. Thank you, everyone. There is no ways and means tonight. Nothing to come before council. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.